the episode about Amity's parents' second was a great choice schedule-wise. Nice touch putting the sale as private since it may or may not be legal. I could watch these shenanigans for hours and not get tired of them. It's a nitpick, sure, but they don't quite look like their shadows from Understanding Willow. You could argue their appearance was skewed by Amity's negative perception, but I doubt it. Also, I can't be the only one that thinks this kind of thing is very hard to hide, especially from the local police. Alador looks really fatigued. Nice detail. The animators do a great job highlighting Amity's flat enthusiasm throughout the scene. Hey look, it's the teacup from Beauty and the Beast. Good Easter egg. The Oracle magic is a nice touch.
Wow, it's so fast and strong. Order now.
People actually believe Amity's sarcastic performance? Yeah, that's within the realm of belief. It really is. The editor clearly tried to hide the picture by keeping the focus away from Amity's sleeve, but it's still noticeable. Also, it's stupid that Amity brought the picture in the first place. There was no point to that other than giving this episode its remaining 21 minutes.
Amity! You just lost us a lot of money!
What happened to no refunds? Also, you didn't lose a lot of money. A lot of people bought these things. This amazing callback to Grom has to be mentioned, especially for those who stuck around for the credits. The use of color for scenes like this makes them so much more visually pleasing. That's a huge benefit with animation, and the Season 2 budget increase. The episode already does a great job showing and telling how Eda and Lilith learn, but this shot sets it up very subtly.
Are we about to encounter a never-before-seen glyph?
Unfortunately, no. These four either came from nature or another witch's spell. I don't know where to find more.
And yet she still does. We even get a new one in the next episode.
Miss Teacher, did I do it right?
The writers get Lilith's scholar personality down pat.
What? Yeah, I'll deal with it. No one ever said power came with responsibility.
I don't believe I mentioned that King is a lot less annoying and a villain in this season than in the first. Oh, it's great to see the gang get back together.
You're okay!
Whoa, guys! Did I, miss a birthday or something?
Which puberty?
Now that joke about puberty from Season 1 makes more sense. Also, it's nice to see they accounted for Isaac Ryan Brown growing into a man. If there was ever a Wes Anderson shot in this show, it's this one right here.
In celebration of your return, I have brought you a homemade fairy pie.
Oh, wow! That sounds so... good.
Dark humor is some of the show's best comedy. The blushes never get old. Character animation and facial expressions are really well done in this episode. This is a very clever way to foreshadow Bump's palisman. Why is Alador here? Shouldn't he be working?
Expelled.
What?
Take this as a lesson, Mittens. A blight always upholds their end of the deal.
Despite the Game of Thrones reference, this kind of cheapens Odade's credibility as a threat, as it's something I don't think Bump would really allow. In Understanding Willow, there was a subtle mention of a relationship between Odalia and Basha's parents. The episode could have used Basha as a counterpoint to Lou's staying at Hexside. They could have talked about the trouble she caused with the Grudgeby match, that broke Amity's leg, and the recent run-in with the Golden Guard. Huge missed opportunity for real conflict.
Oh, my dad can't find out about this. I guess I'll have to start surviving off the land. This is impossible.
With each episode, I get reminded why Gus and King need a spin-off.
Please, this isn't personal. I actually appreciate your tenacity. We're just trying to teach our daughter a valuable lesson in business.
Rachel McFarlane brings Odalia to life in the most hateable way, and I love it.
I'm calling applesauce on this business baloney.
That is one of the greatest sentences I have ever heard in my life.
And what are you expecting this glyph pyramid to do?
It's supposed to prove that I'm the superior witch.
Eda's struggle to remain above Lilith provides for some pretty good comedy. Lilith's skills are very impressive. Willow wears glasses? Why did I never notice that until I saw this photo of her? Let's look at these. So we got a photo from I Was a Teenage Abomination, some photo of them taking a selfie together, and apparently Luz almost got eaten by her own locker? I can feel Gravity Falls from this track. Brad Breek is really outdoing himself.
Life is just so dull without them.
Bum's pain gives me joy. Great touch to see Amity having more books since she's falling behind in her studies. This episode has surprisingly good writing. This is a great example.
Don't worry, human. A blight always upholds their end of the deal.
I searched throughout the entirety of Season 2A, and this line doesn't carry any significance after this episode, so I'm not really sure why they try to make it a motif.
Now, you might want to go get ready, because we have a long night ahead of us, folks.
As far as transitions go, that was kind of weak.
You might want to duck.
I mean, he did try to warn her, so that counts for something. I gotta say, this green lighting is impressive.
To make sure you're getting a top-notch education, we're quitting our jobs to homeschool you.
They quit their jobs for their daughter's education. Who wouldn't love them?
Hey, Willow,
And there's another reason to love them. Did Amity really need to get Gus and Willow? They don't do anything.
No. I'll distract them with illusions of beautiful lady guards.
This isn't a cartoon from the 40s, Gus.
Classic Looney Tunes scenarios. You gotta love Disney for calling back the greats.
Ed, you're helping? Of course. Just don't tell Mom.
I really like the dynamic between the Blight siblings in this episode. It's kind of ridiculous how anyone with a green cloak on can just walk in like they're an investor. I like how even though the animation isn't as fluid as, say, the Grom dance, it still has lots of subtle touches like Luz's facial expressions. Combine that with good voice acting and you got a pretty good action scene on your hands. I wonder how many Marvel What If fans mistook this guy for Thanos when first seeing him. See what I mean? They just get caught. There was no point to them coming along.
Didn't you hear me? It won't rest until its enemy is completely eliminated.
Just in case you forgot, this was all because Amity got a little bit distracted for having a life. There's no homophobia here. There's nothing about strict parenting. Bad grades.
Okay, at least it can't get me up here.
Luz, you fool!
Have I mentioned that Luz makes me smile? The music in this episode is top-notch.
Stay away from my loot!
And now it's Amity who's getting the cool entrance. Great way to turn it around. Honestly, so much time has been invested in the Luz storyline, I completely forgot about this.
Totally normal. Don't come in.
Considering the rate of growth that we saw from the previous scene, how is the house not swallowed yet?
You are in so much trouble.
Finally!
Luz, are you okay?
It was at this moment, every voice in the fandom screamed.
You're gonna listen to me for once. Luz, Willow, and Gus are my friends. They're nice to each other. They listen to each other. They make me think about the kind of person I really want to be.
This is a really empowering Amity moment that speaks volumes of her character and growth throughout the season.
These two are adorable. Or else your precious investors will watch me rip this thing apart bit by bit. Can you actually do that? Shh.
When people talk about Amity's development and Luz's development as characters, they often talk about how they were in episode 8, Knock Knock Knockin' on Hootie's Door. But, let me explain something. Everything started here. The primal part of their relationship, the more intimate parts, it was all started here. And they intentionally did that by Amity having to show up against her mother, which speaks volumes of the strength that she possesses. Seriously, you could go on for days about female empowerment, but when you actually apply that in a very realistic situation with all these fantasy elements, you get a magical ending that perfectly encapsulates these two as people. While I do enjoy these Milo Murphy-style credits, I really miss the old one. I would love to see an updated one of Luz walking through the boiling aisles again.